Welcome to the Angus Report, a news program for cattle producers.
A happy Memorial Day to you from American Angus Association headquarters. The week's top headlines include how more producers are investing in quality genetics.
A top ad exec explains what beef producers could learn about marketing to millennials.
We get an update on happenings in Washington and how an American hero honors military men and women with a good meal.
This is the Angus Report. Hello, I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Crystal Albers.
Our top news this week. Expanding beef's market share will require an understanding of millennials, Americans who were born roughly between 1980 and the mid-2000s. Jeff Fromm, ad executive and co-author of the book Marketing for Millennials, says targeting that group will be an important focus for businesses in the coming years, including the food industry. A government report issued last fall shows millennials represent 1/3 of the total U.S. population and will be an important economic engine.
I use the framework to talk about really consumer culture because the most unique brands, the most innovative brands, the most authentic brands, the most meaningful brands tend to time and again be brands that people love. At the end of the day, people who are responsible for food-related production have to be close to consumer culture because they're going to sell their products to another business that's ultimately going to be really focused on that consumer culture. And so the more they understand it, the better job they're going to do at meeting the needs of their customers. They want healthy choices without having to pay a lot for them. They want fresh choices that come faster. They want ingredients that they can pronounce that are monosyllabic. And they want it all at a price point that's probably unreasonable. But that's what they want. There's no doubt that increased employment, increased consumer confidence, and increased discretionary income yields increased protein purchases. But will those proteins be red meat proteins? Ultimately, if you're going to change consumer views, then you're going to have clear ideas that you can share about your view toward food that aligns with the values that those millennial consumers have.
Another record sales season is in the books for cattlemen who raise registered Angus genetics. Following a successful fall, Angus sales this spring trended higher, with registered Angus bulls averaging nearly $7,000 per head. Female prices were also on the rise to the tune of about 50%, with averages more than $5,000 per head. The total gross sales of registered Angus genetics, according to sales figures reported to the association, were up more than 30% over last year at nearly $392 million. With the cattle market this high, Association Regional Manager Jake Trout says bull buyers in his area were paying specific attention to the dollar beef index as a way to ensure their return on investment.
There's just so much information out there. When it comes to EPDs, they wanted low birth mainly, and dollar B was a big driving factor. With the cattle market being how it is and bulls bringing more money than they typically have in the past, commercial cattlemen, they are much more particular in what they want to invest in. So down the road, they move forward and build their herd up and just bring that higher quality back home.
Complete sales report information and event listings are available at angus.org. Other news from Washington includes legislation regarding Trade Promotion Authority. After an initial false start in the TPA debate, a supermajority of senators voted to begin weighing the legislation that would renew expired Trade Promotion Authority. The president is seeking enhanced authority to finalize negotiations on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a deal that could have positive trade implications for beef exports. If passed, the House would likely follow suit next month, according to reports. Beef exports are valued at around $7 billion outside U.S. borders. Colin Woodall with NCBA has more.
We have to, as a developed nation, engage other countries in trade. To ensure that we can craft those deals in a way that works for all of us, we have to make sure that we have one person doing that. And basically, that's the president. Whether it's this president, past presidents, or future presidents, the president needs to have that authority without 535 members of Congress nitpicking every single detail or trying to add every single amendment they want to. So that's why TPA is a priority. In order to move forward with TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, we need to get TPA done. They have got to vote to put TPA on the floor for debate. great. If we can get that done, then we think the likelihood of passage actually is pretty good once people have the opportunity to go down there and debate and offer amendments. 96% of the world's consumers are outside the U.S. borders. Most of those are located in the Asian Pacific Rim. We need the opportunity to finish the Trans-Pacific Partnership and increase our trade overall.
Thought leaders, company influencers, and producers in the animal agriculture field met in Kansas City, Missouri this month for the 2015 Animal Agriculture Alliance Stakeholder Summit. About 200 people attended sessions that explored animal agriculture's effort to embrace new technologies to feed a growing population while measuring sustainability, transparency, and consumer demand.
This year's event, it's our 14th Stakeholder Summit. It's the first time we're going outside of the DC Arlington area. We really wanted to get closer to producers and closer to some folks who might not be able to travel to DC for the event. We're very excited with how it turned out. And we have pretty much the entire animal agriculture supply chain. So we have farmers, we have ranchers, we have food companies, we have processing companies, we have associations, government representatives. So it's really a whole wide table representative of everyone in animal agriculture. We're a small organization based in Washington, D.C., and we're made up of members from all along protein. So if you consume or deal with meat, milk, and eggs, you need to know about the Alliance and you need to be involved with us. Some recurring themes that are of high importance to whoever you are within animal agriculture is sustainability, transparency, building consumer trust. These are all topics that continue to be important, and we're going to continue to talk about them and how we can do a better job of promoting the great things we are doing and make sure we're all on the same page to be positive and move into the future.
And finally, have you seen this? Floodwaters couldn't keep some Oklahoma cattlemen from feeding stranded animals. The Oklahoma Department of Agriculture and the Army National Guard aided Larry Luray of Bowlegs, Oklahoma, in feeding his herd after the cattle became trapped for several days from rising river levels. With the help of the National Guard, about 100 head of cattle were fed 12 round bales and 12 bags of feed via airdrop. We go now to Jenna McCrell with news you need to know this week in the Angus business.
Thanks, Crystal. The month of May marks an important milestone in the history of the Angus breed. It was in May 1873, more than 140 years ago, that Scotsman George Grant imported the first Angus cattle to the United States. Grant's dream was to establish a thriving English colony in the Kansas prairie. Unfortunately, the harsh Kansas winter was too much for the English settlers, and most of them returned home. But Grant's vision left a lasting impact through the 4 Angus bulls he imported from Scotland. They were bred to native longhorn cows, and when the calves arrived at the Kansas City stockyards, they created a sensation. And it all began in May 1873. For more Angus history, you can access the Angus Journal archive at angusjournal.com or watch videos on the association's YouTube channel. As cattle numbers begin to increase, how can cattlemen ensure profitability on the ranch? That's the topic of discussion during the next Trends Plus Cow-Calf webinar, hosted free online by Cattle Facts. The webinar takes place Wednesday, June 10th at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Cattle Facts experts will discuss the price outlook for cattle and feedstuffs for the remaining half of the year, expectations for the 2015 value-added premiums in the calf market, and considerations for estimating returns on management practices. Visit cattlefacts.com/meetings to register online today. And since Memorial Day is known as the unofficial start to summer, we know many Angus families are looking forward to shows and events in the busy months ahead. Visit angus.org for a complete calendar of activities to stay connected with what's happening across Angus country, including show dates, meetings, and other events. We will bring you coverage from all the summer's highlights, like the National Junior Angus Show in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right here on the Angus Report, and also in the pages of the Angus Journal. Again, visit angus.org for the latest news and information. And that's what you need to know this week in the Angus business.
Thanks, Jenna. When the Angus Report returns, how beef exports depend on quality.
We spend an entrepreneurial minute with Tom Field and honoring the men and women who provide for our freedom.
Visit angus.org to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.
The Angus Report is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. Why not prevent respiratory disease before it steals from your bottom line? Vista Once protects your calves with the most complete respiratory disease coverage available. And Vision Blackleg vaccines can add 14 pounds per calf at weaning. Contact your veterinarian or animal health supplier today.
Some call it a come-from-behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal, of fortune. The feeling of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment.
Are you going to do this every time we treat a calf with Zuprevo?
Absolutely.
Well, all right then.
Don't let BRD interfere with his performance. Treat him with Zuprevo and get him back to his home pen. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo for Merck Animal Health.
At 44 Farms, we breed quality into everything we do. And that's why we're now offering the 44 Next Replacement Heifer Program. Breeders can rebuild their herds with the 44 Farms quality they deserve. Heifers are available in large uniform group for spring and fall calving season. 44 Farms Angus bulls are also still available by private treaty. Contact us today to learn more about 44 Farms.
Join the team, the Beef Quality Assurance Team. Getting BQA certified shows you're committed to practices that produce the highest quality beef in the world. And by visiting BQA.org, you can take the online certification course at a time that fits your schedule and from the comfort of your home or office. You'll also find lots of helpful tips on improving animal health and animal handling practices. Get certified, BQA certified, because it's about doing the right thing. Visit BQA.org today and become a member of the BQA team.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new VetGun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The VetGun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML VetCap is used with the VetGun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. VetGun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
Horn flies cost cattle producers nearly $1 billion a year. They interrupt grazing, cause loss of blood, and impact your bottom line. By incorporating Alticid IGR into your supplement program, you can prevent the emergence of adult horn flies. Alticid IGR will significantly reduce stress on your cattle. For pennies a day, you can control the most costly parasite and increase your profitability. Contact your feed supplier to incorporate Alticid IGR today.
AngusAuctions.com is open for business. AngusAuctions.com is the industry's trusted platform for buying and selling high-quality Angus cattle. AngusAuctions.com is the partnership of DV Auction and the Angus Journal. AngusAuctions.com features live auctions for bidding online, plus dynamic features such as live auctioneer closes and buy it now pricing. Visit AngusAuctions.com today.
Can't wait for your next Angus Journal? We know the feeling. Subscribe today at angusjournal.com.